Welcome to episode 252 of the Caring Generation podcast. I'm your host, Pamela D. Wilson. This week's topic is Family Caregiving Starts Here. Aging parents' support and caregiver advice to manage up caregiving relationships. Many families wait until a crisis to talk about caregiving. So on this week's podcast, I'll explain how to apply the concept of managing up, along with the theme of caregiving starts here and it starts today. You can learn to minimize family caregiving conflict, reduce unexpected surprises, and support trust among aging parents, adult children, and siblings by considering the background information I'm about to share that includes 8 takeaways you can work on starting today. If you're not familiar with the term managing up, it's usually applied to a working relationship with a boss with the goal of offering positive results. So when I talk about managing up in family caregiving, it will be from the perspective of aging parents who might need care in the future or who need care today, and adult children who may eventually be caregivers or who are already caregivers. Managing up has no time frame. It can start anytime, and the earlier that you do it, the more your family can benefit. It's not something that you wait to do. It's especially important if you have a disconnected family, a blended family with step parents and step siblings, if you're an only child, or if you are a divorced or widowed parent. Because when aging parents and children don't discuss priorities, it's nearly impossible to manage expectations. You know this if you are a caregiver who is already doing way too much. Or if you're in a challenging family situation, you know how crazy and stressful this can be. So why not shift from stress and fear to hope and possibility? Here are 2 brief examples of caregiving challenges in families. Number 1, a daughter who is upset because her stepmother and stepsister were named as medical and financial power of attorney for her father. This daughter's concern was that they, the step family, were not really family, and they wouldn't make good decisions for her father. This daughter lived 3 states away. She had not maintained regular contact or made an effort to create ongoing relationships that included her father, stepmother, or stepsister for the past 10 years. She never had one conversation about caregiving with her father. So, is it no wonder that her expectations of being named the power of attorney agent for her father, rather than his stepfamily, were shattered when she learned that Dad had chosen someone else? She felt rejected. That wasn't her father's intention, but she never had the conversation with her father to say, Dad, you can trust me to be there to help you when you need me. I would love to be your power of attorney agent. Because she didn't have this conversation, he made other plans. Number 2, a family with 5 children. One child is named the power of attorney, and this power of attorney refuses to communicate with other siblings or let them be involved in a parent's care. Now, under normal circumstances, the 4 siblings say Dad would have never, ever allowed this to happen. But today, Dad has Alzheimer's, and he can no longer express his wishes. This situation could have been prevented by Dad. Dad could have managed up. He could have met with all 5 of his children at the same time. Dad could have said, "This is what I want. This is what I don't want." Dad could have put information in writing to avoid family squabbles, saying, "All of my children can know about my health and my financial situation when I need care. All of my children can come see me. They can participate in my care. Even though I am naming this one child power of attorney, that power of attorney is to be transparent and supportive and fair and communicative." Discussions about priorities and goals are practical steps for parents and children and families who want to maintain strong family relationships. But yet, what is it that stops this from happening? Is it distance? A too busy life? Too many other priorities? Not knowing how to start or when to start these conversations? Is it a lack of trust? Based on my 25 years of experience, it can be a lot of these things. But in the 2 examples I shared, you see a lack of consistent communication and a lack of not maintaining close relationships that resulted in a lot of unnecessary family problems later in life when parents needed care. So, what does an example of managing up related to caregiving look like? Well, let me start by explaining what it's not. It is not about taking control or telling others what to do or what they can't do. These 2 issues happen all the time in family caregiving relationships. I meet with elderly parents who say, "Oh, my kids, they have no patience. They don't understand what we're going through. Being old, it's not easy. It seems my children only want to take over and control my life, and I don't want that." On the other hand, adult children say, "Oh my gosh, my parents, they expect me to do more and more and more for them. I can't keep up. Mom and Dad, they're never satisfied. All they do is complain and criticize. Nothing I do is ever right." So, by the way, in case you're wondering why I can discuss this topic, I'm Pamela D. Wilson. I'm a caregiving and elder care expert with 25 years of professional experience helping older adults and family caregivers navigate health, healthcare, money to pay for care, legal aspects of care, and family conflict. You can learn more about me on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, where you can also schedule a one-to-one consultation. Click on the Services tab, scroll down to Elder Care Consultant, and complete the form on that page. So, how do you change this dynamic of parents thinking one thing about their children and children thinking another thing about their parents? How do you change this from chaos to strong, productive family caregiving relationships? Well, number 1, identify and align family caregiving priorities so that everyone can thrive and do well. Give this some thought. Think about it positively rather than as a negative goal of avoiding suffering for parents when they get old, regardless of how that effort and how those tasks of caring for parents might affect one or multiple people in the family. Because while some families focus on, we have to do whatever it takes to take care of mom and dad, even if one of our siblings' lives gets sacrificed, And they do this because of generational, religious, cultural, or family expectations. In my experience, in my opinion, if actions harm someone else in the family, this is not a good plan. Why not make a different plan? Why not make a better plan? Why not focus on a family that thrives and does well than focusing on suffering? This is a mindset shift that anybody can make. And it's a way of shifting away from fear to hope. When family caregiving starts today, when you start having conversations today, you can focus on proactive strategies instead of fear-based or life-limiting thoughts. You can retrain yourself and your family members to break that habit of making choices based on fear by starting to pay attention to the reason that you do things or the way you act the way that you do. By gaining insight into your fear-based responses, you can choose to flip the script and focus on positive aspects. When you do this, your entire family will have a better plan to care for aging parents and for themselves. There'll be less stress, less worry, lower burnout, fewer unexpected surprises. Your family relationships will become positive. Everyone will support each other. You will thrive and you will all do well. Number 2, who's going to start this? Well, you could be the adult in the family who takes the lead to create a healthy, happy life for yourself and model this behavior. Instead of doing things because you're afraid something bad is going to happen. So, how might you communicate this to an aging parent and your siblings in words? Well, the conversation could go like this. Mom and dad, brothers and sisters, I'd like to start having family conversations, family meetings with everybody so that we have a plan. So, mom and dad, we want to know what you want your life to be like when you retire. And we can all get together and share our experiences and our knowledge to see if we can make that happen. That sounds like a happy conversation, a positive conversation, right? That is a better way to start the conversation rather than saying, I think we all need to get together. We need to decide who's going to take care of you, mom or dad, when you're sick and you can't take care of yourself. And all of us are arguing about who's going to give up their life to care for you. Like who's going to pay for your care? Well, who wants to have that conversation? Nobody that I know. Number 3, when you have these conversations, focus on information gathering and sharing of information instead of telling anybody in the family what they must do. So in my experience, managing up for caregiving involves 4 areas that you want to investigate. Financial planning for retirement and paying for healthcare and how that works. That is a deep topic with a lot of information, learning about Medicare and Medicaid and financial planning. Number 2, being proactive about health and staying healthy, which does require learning how health insurance works when you're working and how Medicare works when you are over 65. It requires learning how to interact with the healthcare system, with doctors, nurses, hospitals, nursing homes, assisted living communities, home healthcare. Next, number 3, investigate making legal and estate plans so that there is a power of attorney agent, financial and medical, so that there is a will or a trust. And probably the most important, learn how to negotiate family conflicts so that your family stays together instead of becomes divided. So, when you think about this, depending on life experiences, one of your parents or your siblings may have a little experience with one of these four areas. And if not, do your research, gather information, invite an expert to one of your monthly formal family meetings. And notice I said monthly formal family meeting. The goal is to establish a day of the month, a time of the month, so everybody knows when to show up in person or on a Zoom call. The goal is regular contact and information sharing so that it's a positive activity and everybody looks forward to getting together rather than dreading the meeting or avoiding the meeting. These discussions, they're not just for your parents, they're for you. They are for your children. They are for everyone in the family because these four areas of caregiving that I described apply to everyone. And the sooner that you take action to gain information and education and knowledge, the more manageable your day-to-day life will become. You will feel much more in control instead of always running behind and thinking, oh my gosh, what is going to happen next? I know so many caregivers who live in that negative spiral of what is going to happen next. It can become a self-fulfilling prophecy of bad things always happening next. There's no need for that. So think of these family meetings like a meeting that you might have at work. Number 4, managing up includes identifying problems, shared problems, and asking everyone to bring solutions and ideas. So, for example, if you've tried to navigate health or the healthcare system, you know it's not easy. It can be quite challenging to find the right doctor and get good care. Maybe mom or dad need a good cardiologist and they're not sure how to find one or who to choose or how to make a choice. There can be times when getting a prescription filled at a copay that is affordable can take a lot of time and effort to investigate. Maybe you have to make phone calls to the insurance company, to the pharmacy, to the doctor's office, to a prescription drug helpline. Your parents may not know how to do this. They may need tips from you and what questions to ask when they call these different organizations. Rather than taking on these tasks for your parents, show them how to do their own research. Help them use a computer to access their doctor's healthcare portal. Give them questions to ask when they make phone calls. Support self-sufficiency in your parents. Maybe you are the sibling or you have a brother or sister who can get things done very quickly while other people struggle. Well, share your tips and your tricks at these family meetings. Realize that everybody in your family has strengths. They have superpowers. But until you start talking about them and sharing them, nobody will really know what these superpowers are. Number 5, never do a task for another person, especially your aging parents, if they can learn to do the task themselves. Because the process of learning will result in greater confidence and more interest in learning new things. The goal of managing up is to raise up all family members, not to make more family members reliant on others for assistance. You've probably heard the old saying that a rising tide raises all the boats. Family education, family knowledge raises confidence and self-sufficiency of all family members. Now, as adult children and parents too, it's important to recognize and accept that everybody is doing the best they can based on their life experience and the knowledge they've gained so far. So obviously, life experience and knowledge at age 20 is very different from knowledge and life experience at age 60. So when you have these meetings, you have to take that into account. Give family members grace for having a different life experience and for not knowing as much or for knowing more. Number 6, as you work through this, learn to anticipate needs and work through roadblocks to help others help themselves. Caregiving discussions about health, the healthcare system, saving money, managing money to pay for care, legal aspects about care, how to resolve family conflicts. They do not have to wait until the day that an elderly parent has a heart attack, or they're in the emergency room, or they're diagnosed with dementia. Family caregiving and managing up starts when parents have children, when they have babies, and it can continue throughout life. Now, maybe your parents were like my parents. My parents had a high school education. They didn't go to college. So there were some areas where they needed more education and information and help and direction than others. It didn't mean that they couldn't do these things. They just needed a little help. So let me give you a concrete example. Do you have a 401k at work or some type of savings program that has helped you learn about saving and investing money? Do you have a financial planner who helps you with these things? Do you know how or if your parents or your siblings are taking steps to plan for their retirement? If they're not, why not ask about this and offer to share what you've learned through your experiences in work or doing your own research or maybe magazines you read or classes that you've taken or your financial planner? Now, in all of this, the way that you approach sharing information matters a lot. It's best to be unattached to the outcome or what others do with the information that you offer. Some family members will do absolutely nothing. They'll say, you know what, that's not for me. That's okay. Others will say, hey, maybe I should investigate this further. Or, wow, I'm going to look into that myself. I want to do that myself. Your goal is to offer enough information to encourage other people to take their own steps. For example, to maybe contact their own financial planner or find a financial planner or start saving and investing money. What you don't want to do is put yourself in the position of having someone in your family say, well, you told me to do that and I did it and it didn't work out. Or you told me that your financial planner was great and I don't like your financial planner. So you're just giving people information and allowing them to make their own choices and their own decisions because we all have to be accountable for our choices and our results. Now let's talk about age and health problems. So number 7, if you're a caregiver, you may have a parent with a long list of health problems. And so if you're in this situation, my recommendation is to stop and evaluate what's going on if you have not. So why are you helping your parent other than because you can, or you feel you must, or they asked you to? Are you doing anything that your parent could do for themselves, like going to get their own prescriptions, ordering groceries or prescriptions online, creating a spreadsheet of income and monthly expenses? Is your parent physically weak? And if so, why? Why do mom or dad have physical disabilities or health problems that make it difficult for them to perform daily activities? Did your parents give up exercising? Do they sit around all day? Do they make a trip to the grocery store and by the time they get back, they're so exhausted that they lay on the couch the rest of the day? There can be a lot of reasons that these things happen, but until you can identify why or the problem, you can't really offer your parents information about solutions that they could consider. So think about this. What is the health condition of your parent and what's the cause? Because what I can tell you from my personal experience managing care for many, many older adults is that issues, if identified early, can be solved or at least managed so that they don't take over a life or require caregivers. And this applies to anybody. So it doesn't matter if you're 20 or you're 40 or you're 60. If you have high blood pressure, or if you have diabetes, or if you have asthma, if you can learn what causes that for you and find a solution to address it that may or may not include medications, the problem won't take over your life. You'll still be able to enjoy your everyday life. You'll still be able to go about and do things, and you're not going to need help from someone else. Number 8, making lifestyle changes and becoming more educated to help yourself is part of being an adult. Because if you refuse to take care of yourself, how can you honestly expect someone else to do this for you? Your children, your spouse. While I know this is true for many older parents who expect others to take care of them, this family idea of managing up reverses that trend. It takes that idea off the table. Your parents are responsible for caring for themselves. By doing research and offering education and helping your parents help themselves to be proactive, they will be able to do this. So, as the adult in the room, start these managing up conversations. Share your experiences. Seek education and the support of experts when you need it. So your next step from leaving here today is think of managing up and family caregiving conversations like creating a 12-series educational program. Again, where if you need an expert, you bring one in. But what 12 topics could benefit your family the most in the next year? Have a meeting, talk with your siblings and your parents, and agree on 12 topics, and then prioritize them by month. Have everybody do research, bring ideas, bring information together. Because this type of managing up to avoid potential future problems so that you can live a good life, managing up to live a fulfilling life, free from health problems and elder care needs that can be all-consuming, is a great goal. And you can help everybody in your family do this by choosing to plan for the positive, by creating a roadmap and a plan and even written family agreements if you need them. So know that when you initiate these ideas, your parents or your siblings or even your spouse may not initially be interested. I encourage you to keep bringing this up. Do not give up. Be the adult and the model for your family that lives a happy, healthy life. Let everybody see that this is possible. And having these conversations is important for everybody. You could say to your parents or to your siblings, look, guys, I know you may not be able to see this now, but just work with me. Work with me for 12 months, 12 topics to see the progress we can make. Because what I can tell you is, a year from now, you might thank me for pursuing this idea to help all of us and to improve our relationships. So if you're looking for more topics and more support, there's plenty of free information on my website, PamelaDWilson.com. There are over 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel, Pamela D. Wilson, Caregiving Expert. There are 3 online courses on my website, articles in my blog and my caregiver library, my book, The Caregiving Trap, and here on the Caring Generation podcast, now over 250 episodes. You can also go to my website to schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. Click on the Services tab and then Elder Care Consultation. There is a form there that you can complete and I will respond. I thank you all so much for being here with me for episode 252 of the Caring Generation podcast. Family caregiving starts here. Aging parents support and caregiver advice to manage up family caregiving. I encourage you to find the podcast transcript that is linked to this podcast on my website. Go to Pamela D. Wilson, click on the media tab, then the Caring Generation, and scroll down to episode 252. That transcript will have links to other helpful articles. And before you go on with your day or your night, please do me a huge, major, colossal favor. Please post a positive comment about the show on your podcast app. Your comments and support are the only way this podcast can reach more people. The only way that this podcast can help more people around the world. I'm Pamela D. Wilson, caregiving and elder care expert. God bless you all. Sleep well tonight and have a fabulous day tomorrow, and make the most of each day until we are here together again.